Hello and welcome to Game Week 14, live from the Stakehouse. We're looking all things Premier League previews and tips. I'm Conor McCabe. I'm here once again with my co-pilot, Lucas Dazinski. Lucas, how are we doing?
Yeah, good, good. It's going to be a busy week this week. Games coming thick and fast. Podcast tonight on the Monday recording. Going to have to record on Friday as well. Both have our Christmas parties on a Thursday, so yeah, looking forward to that.
Looking forward to a very cheerful Friday episode, everybody, no doubt there. Guarantee I'll be on better form than Lucas, not just
Yeah.
tips wise either. So that's a bit of good news. Last week, how did we get on? From my perspective, from my 4 tips, 2 of them won. I managed to get Fulham double chance at Spurs, which is a good win, and most importantly, my nap landed, which was Liverpool at evens being too good a price against City. It was men versus boys,
Yeah.
making the 2.2 look very, very good value. And for anybody keeping score, that's 3 naps in a row. Since I've launched them, every single nap that I've tipped up has landed. So make sure you listen out very carefully for the nap,
Nap.
the midweek nap, which will be coming. What about you?
I wish I could say the same thing, but my nap was Everton +1 and they lost 4-0. So saying that, the XG was a lot closer. So it was 1.07 to 0.58. I made it. So, you know, but also I had Brentford versus Leicester, both teams scored in the first half. That came in pretty much straight away. Wasn't much stress, and that was
Never in
like,
doubt.
I think that was that 4.2, I think, or something like that, or 4. But yeah, so still a profitable weekend for me. So yeah,
Both in
excited for the
profit.
week ahead.
Once again, I mean, I think for the 5 6 weeks we've been running, we've I
Yeah,
think been in profit all bar one week. I think if you look at my overall now, I'm around about 19 points overall to the good. Just as a brief update on that one. But yeah, I mean, in terms of this game week, there's lots to go at. We're coming to you with more tips than usual, coincidentally or not, but there's lots of nice little angles at the market for us to attack. So this episode, I've got a feeling, might be a little bit more tips focused rather than talking points, but let's see how we go. Let's kick off with Ipswich versus Palace tomorrow night. What's your thoughts on this one?
I think it's going to be a close game. This one, Palace finally looking a bit better, slowly getting to the rhythm of things. I think. Not sure what happened. I didn't watch the game, but when they played Newcastle, Newcastle had a total of 1 shot the whole game. Like 1 shot.
0.04 XG.
Like mental. And then the goal they scored obviously finished 1-1. The goal they scored was an own goal as well. So like yeah, mental. Saying that, not sure with this one. I think it's going to be close, but I feel like Palace could edge it, but I'd probably go with a draw.
Yeah, it's one of the few games that I haven't got an official bet on this week. I think you could really flip a coin on it.
Yeah.
Ipswich at home against United look good. I know United let them look good, but they did look good.
Yeah.
And Palace away from home can also be a dangerous outfit. I've sat on the fence here and gone 1-1, but I don't have an official tip for
Yeah.
it. Let's move on to games with better angles, and that starts with Leicester versus West Ham.
You want to kick off then?
I do. I've got a great little official tip just to
Okay.
get the juices flowing. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, where has
Oh, bloody hell.
his attacking intent been all of these years? Finally, it's coming to the fore, and he looks like he's got a new lease of life in the last 2 games. I
Is
think
that going to continue though?
it was his first goal in God knows how long, and he backed it up with a second against tough opposition in Arsenal. So he's got a taste for it now. Do I think he'll score against Leicester? Not necessarily. But what I do think is he will be determined to extend his streak. That's one thing that I will say. I think Leicester will give him plenty of opportunities. They're quite leaky in terms of him getting into attacking positions. Leicester have employed Ruud van Nistelrooy. I cannot see Van Nistelrooy coming in with a defensive safety first approach. I just can't see that. West Ham will get chances here. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is 2.3 to have 1 shot.
Just 1 shot.
Just 1 shot. Does not need to hit the back of the net. Does not
How,
even need to be on target. Doesn't even need to reach the goal. He just needs to have one wild swing at the ball. And I think 2.3 here is a very, very reasonable, respectable price that must be backed. So I'm all over it like a lash.
I mean, he had two. Just looking, he had 2 shots against Arsenal at home. So
Yep, 100%. And Leicester will give him far more opportunity here. 2.3, very, very reasonable price. So that's definitely an official tip for me. It's my first one of the show. Seems like you like the sound of it as well, which is probably a bad sign. But
yeah,
there we go.
lay it.
In terms of the game itself, I actually think West Ham might actually just nick it as well. Maybe 2-1, something like that.
To be honest, wasn't impressed with Leicester. They didn't really create much apart from that goal, to be honest. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, moving on. Everton Wolves. Now, if I said to you with this fixture in mind, the scoreline 10-0, would it mean anything to you?
No.
It's how many goals each of the sides have scored in the last 4 games apiece. Wolves have scored 10 goals in the last 4 games. Everton have scored precisely 0. Yet Everton are just a shade above odds on to win this game. I can't have that. I can't have Everton such heavy favourites on the back of the form of the last 4 games. It's not like Everton have had hugely tougher fixtures either. Maybe it's slightly tougher. They're both leaky and they both concede goals. I think it's 7-6 in the conceded department in the last 4 games. But in terms of goals scored, 10-0. I mean, that's significant, right? I mean, Wolves have found their shooting boots. And for me, considering how much more firepower they have than Everton, the Wolves away win at 3.65 on the back of that stat alone is value for me. So this is my second official
Yeah,
tip.
with this whole like not scored, etc. Like, don't you think after a while there's just it's gonna catch up? XG is gonna catch up, right? So, for example, Everton have scored like almost 6 goals fewer than they should have based on chances, and Wolves have scored 8 more goals.
I think it depends on the team with this stat. This is where me and you differ on XG, right? You always believe that XG will eventually even itself out.
Yeah, eventually, of a large sample, right?
Correct. But ultimately, for it to do that, it's like you look at Erling Haaland's XG this season and he's massively underperforming. I expect him to get somewhere back close to what his official number should be by the end of the season because
He's not massively overperforming.
I said underperforming.
He's not massively underperforming.
Is he not?
He's underperforming by 1.4 goals.
Okay, so but even that, right? I expect him to have corrected that by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Whereas it comes to Everton, because he's a quality player, because he'll keep getting the chances, and eventually, when he does start scoring, he'll start scoring for fun. You look at the Everton team. Dominic Calvert-Lewin cannot hit a barn door at the moment, right? Dwight McNeil in flashes looks okay. Where are Everton's goals coming from? Who's going to start scoring? I don't see.
Ashley Young.
Yeah, exactly my point, right? I mean, Ashley Young. But, I mean, you've got players like Jack Harrison, you've got players like Ndiaye, you've got other players at Everton who are okay, but they don't strike me as somebody who is going to dig them out of an XG rut. And again, this is a 3.65 tip. Do I think Wolves win this game 1 in 3 times? Yes, let alone 1 in 3.65. And they are in great form. And even if you do believe that XG will eventually even itself out, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen here. So that's my second official tip. I think Wolves will win this game. Remember, they've just gone away to Fulham and won 4-1. I think Everton away is a much easier proposition than that. So I take the 3.65, jump on it because I think it's a good bet.
Nah, I'm going Everton minus a quarter. I feel like they are the better team on paper, and I feel like they should edge it. But yeah, so I want a bit of insurance. So basically, it means if it's a draw, you get half your money back. If you win, you win. So yeah, I'm going trusting the model here and doing Everton minus a quarter at 1.85.
Is this an official tip?
Yep.
Okay, there you have it. So we're going against each other in terms of official tip once again. So let's. Who came on top? Which was our one that we went against each other last week? Who was it? Do you remember? I can't remember. We really should
I
know
think it
that.
was Wolves Bournemouth actually. I went Bournemouth and you went Wolves maybe.
It might have been that,
Maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway,
So that could be 1-0 to you in the head-to-heads then. All
we need
right.
to track this. We'll post it on Twitter.
Let's see if we can. Yeah, for sure. Let's see if I can even. I think you're right though. Let's see if I can even the scoring here. I feel good about this
Yeah,
one.
good luck.
All right. You said that like I'll need it.
Yeah, you will.
City Forest. What are you thinking on City at the moment? I mean, what is going on?
I don't actually know. Like, I thought that the Liverpool game might be the game where, you know what, like they've been on a bad run, but now all of a sudden they're going to like come out of the woodwork and just smashing all the teams up. But I can't see it happening. I think, look, I've been quite bullish on Forest this season. I feel like they've played quite well. I feel like they could get something out of this game, So I'm going to tip Nottingham Forest on the Asian handicap plus 1.5. So basically, if Forest lose by 1 goal, we still win our bet, right? So it's just about damage limitation at that rate. Woods has been pretty good this season as well. If they get like a early goal, like even score a goal, right? That means like ultimately to lose the bet, right? City have to score 3 goals.
So I think this is a first for the podcast. We have the exact same tip that we've come up with separately. I fully agree. Forest minus 1.5 Asian. On top of
Plus
that, sorry, plus 1.5. Yes, my mistake. So effectively, just don't lose by 2 goals.
Yeah.
And the bet wins. On top of everything else you said, don't forget the job that Forest did on Liverpool when they went to Anfield, right? So there's pedigree there. With City, I mean, I talked on the last pod about Guardiola's 2-year contract signing and how I didn't feel like that made a lot of sense in terms of building a new team, which I now think City need to do. But the game against Liverpool, it was like, don't get me wrong, Liverpool were outstanding. Like, it was Champions League winning performance worthy material. It was so good from them. But City were just abject.
Yeah.
It was a 2-0 massacre. Like, they absolutely destroyed them. It really was.
Even Foden, I don't think Foden scored this season at all, right? And last season he scored 19 goals, and like
of all the responsibility and all of the accountability at City right now, I think Phil Foden has to take more than any other player. Because there's so many of the City squad that are quite young. The likes of Rico Lewis, who needs more time to develop in the player that he really needs to become. On the other side of the coin, you've got so many players kind of just past their best, whether it's De Bruyne, whether it's Bernardo Silva, and so on. They've only got a few happy medium players. And, you think to the likes of Erling Haaland and you think to the likes of Phil Foden, players that really should be coming close to the prime of their career, at least continuing the form of last year. With Haaland, you can see the effort there. You can see it etched across him. You can see it in his work rate. You can see it in the fact that he keeps putting himself there, even though they're not going in for him at the moment. With Foden, I barely see him in games. Like he almost disappears. He's not showing. He comes across as subdued. I don't know if it's just a real lack of confidence there, or there's other things going on. I don't know, but ultimately, this was his season. I mean, last year people were talking about him as Premier League Player of the Year and all of these things, and really excited for him this year. I thinking he was going to kick on, and he's just not done it. He needs to pick up quick because especially the younger players, he's City born and bred through and through. They've got to be looking at him, and he's got to be setting that example now. But I think City as well. I think the thing that benefits this Asian handicap bet is City will take any win right now. If you offered City 2-1, 1-0, they'd snap your hand off. They really, really would. And it will be edgy no matter what the scoreline is. Look at what happened in the Champions League last week. So I think considering that, I think Forest at minus 1.5, which allows us to even lose the game by goal.
Plus, bloody hell, mate.
Forest plus 1.5, which even allows them to lose the game by 1 goal. Is a great bet. All right. Newcastle versus Liverpool.
Tell you what, before before the last game week, I was eyeing up Newcastle plus 3/4. But the way Newcastle play against Palace and the way Liverpool smash City, I'm just going to leave this bet out. To be honest, I think Liverpool will continue the run and beat Newcastle.
100%. I've actually got a 2-point tip on this game, and it's not getting too fancy.
Liverpool to win.
Liverpool to win. It's available at 1.84 on the. It's not my nap, even though I've given it 2 points. I've given it 2 points because the price is quite skinny. But 1.84 available on the exchanges. Again, Liverpool were just. I've never seen a team do something like that to Man City in a long, long time. Everything's just going their way. They look so strong. I know you think
league wrapped up, right?
You think, I mean, that's what you think, and it's hard to argue. But with Newcastle as well, I mean, look, I know they created chances at home to West Ham, but when they went 2 down, West Ham looked more likely to score a third in that game than Newcastle did to get back into it. The confidence just drained away. They obviously
I don't get them like this season. They've just been like
all over the place, and it's like, you know, the foundation that Eddie Howe built in his first year, which was really strong. Ever since that, they had a lot of injury problems last season, but they
did other teams, you know, like,
exactly. But they just really struggle for consistency, and I just think Liverpool are just better. And I think the 1.84 price is fair. I was expecting to see Liverpool around 1.6, to be honest. And so seeing them at 1.84 makes it a 2-point bet. So that's an official point. I think you have to get it in your accas. Southampton versus Chelsea.
I think Chelsea look really strong. I think they'll win this game comfortably, to be honest. I haven't really got a bet on it, but yeah. Chelsea all the way, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of playing in a 4-1-4-1 setup at the moment, aren't they, Chelsea? And what that's actually doing is pushing Enzo Fernandez further forward. So he's essentially sat more in a number 10 role now, or at least the number 8 to number 10 role, almost alongside Palmer. And if you look at his last 4 games, he's obviously scored 2 goals from this role, and he's had 4 shots across the 2 games. So the bookies have adjusted a little bit, but not fully. In my mindset now, his prices should have dramatically come in more than they have, and they're still catching up. And so this is my nap of the weekend, or of the game week, should I say. Enzo Fernandez to have 1 shot on target against a leaky Southampton team, even money.
1 shot on top. Sorry, you said on target.
This one has to be on target. Okay. Yes,
I
was really toying with putting him in as a goal scorer, which again you can basically get just under 4.0 on him to score any time. Which again I would not talk anybody out of if you want to go that route instead.
Yeah.
But in terms of my official nap, in my quest to make it 4 naps in a row since I've started. That is it. So Enzo, do the business for me, my friend. Keep my run going. And that is my nap. I think Chelsea will run out easy winners. 3 or 4 goals quite comfortably. Southampton might get 1, probably won't get any more. So that's the tip for that one. Arsenal versus United.
I'll let you go first as the diehard United fan.
So I actually really like what Amorim's doing since he's come in.
Of course you are.
I do, yeah, I do. He showed his flexibility in the Champions League game last midweek. With no role that he played, Diogo Dalot, who was dropping in second half to form a back 4 instead of a back 3.
Because Juve are putting a 50 mil bid for him, apparently, right? Or someone.
Oh gosh, I hope they don't get him. But anyway, yeah, I think he's pretty important to the system as a wing back. But it was the setup was really strange. It was like he was filling in as a member of the back 4 when we didn't have the ball, and when we did, he was moving in towards the number 10 position. So there's going to be a lot of flexibility in what Amorim does. He's also so personable. He's so charismatic. The players seem to love playing for him. United have been fun to watch the last few games. I know they they didn't deserve to score four against Everton, but they did. But it's good to see them being
That's not a
clinical.
bloody bet.
It's good to see them being clinical again.
Yeah.
Rashford, Garnacho, they were all struggling against their XG markups. Rashford looks reborn. Ahmad, why Ten Hag didn't give him a run, nobody knows, because he looks a hell of a player. And again, the United forward line look like they've got more confidence. I mean, even Xerxes scored twice. I mean, you can make Xerxes score twice, then you're golden in my book. Having said all of that, I think Arsenal will win.
Easy.
Yeah, I think this kind of almost not crashing back down to earth, because Amorim said himself there's going to be bad days and so on, and this will probably be one. I don't think United will be disgraced, but I think that it'll be a reasonably comfortable Arsenal win, maybe 2-0, some 2-0, 2-1, something like this. But the markets agree, and I can't see any real value in terms of how to attack this game. So I'll be sitting it out and watching with my diehard United hat on and hoping that we can overturn the odds.
Cool.
Anything to add? What do you think?
Nah, I mean, pretty much. Well, apart from the spiel about United, I think it's going to be an easy win for Arsenal. So, yeah, I think the market got it right. Got no bet in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, just a quick one on them as well. Arteta, since he started rotating a little bit more, it's really helped them. They look like they're fresher again. They're winning games more comfortably. The way they dismantled West Ham was kind of more going back to the form that they've shown previously, as opposed to their stuttering form for the last month or so. So, more exciting times for them considering the last two games. And
did you have Saka in your fantasy or not?
Haven't added him yet. No.
Unlucky, mate. Brought him in last week.
I still beat you last week.
Only because I captained Mbuemo. That was a mistake.
I'll take your Brentford hat off. Just 5 minutes. All right. Villa versus Brentford. Speaking of the Devils.
Yeah.
Mbuemo anytime? Is that the tip?
Nah, I wish. Look, I think Brentford's coming into swing of things, obviously G-Tech's a massive fortress. Haven't really translated out to away, but saying that, we're on red hot form at the moment, and we're playing Villa. Bear in mind, it's away. Villa haven't been great recently, right? Clearly struggling, like juggling the Premier League and Champions League. So I think this could be a good opportunity for us to kind of play some good football and get a result here. Saying that, though, what I'm eyeing up, which has been profitable so far this season for me, is both teams to score in the first half.
Oh, here we go again.
And that is priced at, what was it priced at last time I checked? Yeah, 3.9. So, yeah, I'm just gonna hit that again till it stops being profitable.
I mean, I'm winding you up, but I don't blame you with this at all. It's a winning formula. You put up this bet twice, and it's won twice. Don't necessarily feel like
I think I put up 3 times and it's won twice. But
okay, so
honest guy, mate. What can I say?
You've still got profit in the bag from this specific bet. So why not give it another go?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. It's gonna be good, I think.
Yeah, I still am really keen to oppose Villa at every opportunity. They haven't won in the last 8 for anybody keeping score. Again, the Champions League is just weighing more and more heavily on them. We know that Emery is more interested in Europe than he is in the Premier League. So I think that eventually something has to give here. The Bees look so good at the G-Tech. They look incredible. I knew that they'd score 3 or 4 goals against who did they have at the weekend?
Leicester.
Leicester, yeah. I didn't know Sade would score a hat-trick, but goals now, it's a great sign. Goals can come from anywhere, and they're building each other up, and there's more confidence. And I think they're going to go to Villa and score goals.
Smash them.
I don't think they're necessarily going to smash them, but I think they're going to go to Villa and score goals. Villa also have conceded 2 goals to Palace, Ipswich, and Everton this season. 2 of them at home. So none of those teams come close to the firepower that Brentford have. So here we have a clear example of a strength in Brentford's attack coming up against the weakness in Villa's defence, coupled with them taking their eye off the ball in the league. And Brentford to score 2+ goals in the game, at 2.88 represents good value for me. And
Two
that goes
goals. Just scored 2 goals.
just
2.88.
2 goals at any point. 2.88.
That's not bad.
That represents.
That should be your nap.
Do you reckon? I
Double
can't.
nap.
In Enzo, I trust, mate. But maybe this can be like my vice nap. You know, like you have a vice nap. This can be like my vice nap.
Vice captain.
But Brent Bees to score 2+ goals. Don't worry about the result. Bees to score 2+ goals at 2.88 is an official tip. I think this game could end something like 2-2. Something like that really wouldn't surprise me in terms of this game. Fulham versus Brighton.
Easy one for me. Look, as much as I hate to say it, like Fulham are looking like a really good team. Last week they drew to Tottenham, but they actually beat them quite comfortably on the XG. So it was they scored 1.42 on XG, and Tottenham only managed 0.78. Brighton as well has been that one of those teams have been inconsistent a bit. I mean, they drew to Southampton. Like, I know they won the XG battle, but like drawing to Southampton at home, it's pretty poor.
Yeah,
Fulham playing at home as well. On unexpected points, they're still second, so technically second best team in the league. And they're playing Brighton, who on expected goals, they're actually kind of mid-table, bottom the mid sort of, bottom half of the middle table sort of thing. So, yeah, I quite fancy Fulham minus a quarter. So yeah, again, if it's a draw, you get half your money back. If Fulham win, they win. I feel like they're playing really good football, and that's coming from me. So it's like you need to amplify that.
and that's an official tip from you, right?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I know you've been from our separate conversations. You're feeling very certain about this one, and I'm not going against at all. I do have more confidence than you do in Brighton. I think there's a lot going well with them. I think Herzler's a great manager. However, looking at their last 5 games each, both teams to score has landed in 9 of the 10 games. So if you take the last 5 apiece in the Premier League, so and the overall goal amount of goals is silly, really, really high. So even though the goals lines are priced quite tightly, this is not an official tip from me. But if anybody's looking to get my view on it in terms of what I would go for, I would look at both teams to score 2 or more goals in this game at 4.0. I think that's a very, very good runner. Both of these teams are packed with goals.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me to see that land. I just wonder if Harry Wilson's finally going to get a start for Fulham. He's literally becoming a super sub, that kid.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that'll ever happen, but I think he deserves a bit of a run in the side. Just wanted to say that as well. Cool. All right. So that's your official tip. Last game of the game week is Bournemouth versus Spurs. Take it away.
Another one I'm quite confident in is Bournemouth 0 on Asian handicap. So basically, if Bournemouth, if it's a draw, you get your money back. If Bournemouth win, you win. At the moment, the price is 2.04, which is quite good, I'd say, considering how Bournemouth on red hot form, I'd say. They're playing really, really well. And Tottenham, they've got a lot of injuries to deal with at the back. I think Brennan Johnson might be sick as well again, or injured. I feel like, at home as well, I think that's quite a good bet. So I'm going to be, siding with Bournemouth on this one. Official tip.
Another official tip. Wow, this is like the most that we've ever had from you. I'm loving it. To be honest with you, kind of agree. Just looking at my notes on it here. I feel like Bournemouth could edge it. I think it'll be, again, a pretty close game, but Bournemouth at home are tough to back against. Not many teams leave Bournemouth with 3 points. It just doesn't happen. And I don't think it'll happen here. Like Spurs, I feel like the way Spurs play as well, with Johnson high right, Son high left, Kulusevski breaking through the middle, they like a little bit more room to manoeuvre. And the Vitality is a very, very tight pitch. There's not a huge amount of room, and Bournemouth just loves squeezing.
Yeah.
And again, if Fulham are short at the back and they're trying to play it around at the back,
Fulham, Tottenham.
Tottenham, yeah, then sorry, but then yeah, they could get caught.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Semenyo's back from
That
his
was
ban,
what I was
right?
about to ask you. Okay,
So
he's back. That's
he's
another
back,
good
so he's
one.
going to be fresh, rested, ready to go, right? And he's like their best player, basically.
Yeah, I've got to say, I like this one. I really do like it. I think that's of all your tips that you've put forward. I think that's my favourite. So yeah, there you have it. Let's recap. So you've got 4 Asian handicap bets for us then, right?
Yep, 4. So I got Everton minus a quarter versus Wolves. I got Forest plus 1.5 against City. I got Fulham minus a quarter against Brighton. I got Bournemouth 0 Asian handicap, and then also I have in the Brentford Villa game. I got both teams to score in the first half. So yeah, 5 bets from me.
Are you have you looked at putting like a little cheeky Asian handicap acca together in terms of?
No, I have not.
All
But
right.
yeah,
I
it'll
mean,
be quite.
if people want to put together the 4 tips that you've put forward on the Asian, again as backed up by your model, so data driven, definitely looking like there's a clear edge against the bookmakers there. What sort of price will we be looking at? 4 shots around even money. We're probably talking what?
Let me have a look.
16, something like that. 16 to 1.
Yeah, something like that. Just gonna.
What
Some
are
of
you?
them are like 1 point. Some of them are like 1.85. So I can have.
You're probably looking in the region of 15s if you want to combine Lucas's 4 selections. In terms of mine, then just to recap,
14.35. Yeah. So yeah, not.
pretty good guess from me.
Yeah.
Hope my predictions go as well as my maths do. All right, so from my end, I have got 6 tips for you to attack. I've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka to have just 1 shot of any kind.
Yep.
2.3. I have got Wolves win versus Everton, 3.65. I have got Forest, just like you do, on the Asian, minus 1.5 at 1.88. I have got Liverpool, a 2-point victory at 1.84. I've got Enzo Fernandez, so I have 1 shot on target at even money, which goes down as my nap. And finally, I have got Brentford to score at least 2 goals at 2.88 away at Villa. In terms of my acca, I've combined 5 of the 6 selections. I've combined Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Wolves, Liverpool, Enzo, and Brentford, and they bring back odds of around 59 to 1. Again, if you want to play them as four folds and trebles, that's the more profitable way to play, and obviously singles is the most profitable way. But I know a few of you out there will also love the idea of winning a little bit more for a little bit less risk, high reward, and therefore that's why we stick the acca out to you guys as well.
With everything being Amazon Prime, be able to watch every single game. So what's the game that you think would be a good game to watch?
That's a great question. I love that. I mean,
And
obviously,
don't say Arsenal United.
well, first of all, let's do it night by night, right? So the first night is Ipswich, Palace, and Leicester, West Ham. I'm obviously going to be watching Leicester, West Ham for my Aaron Wan-Bissaka bet, and obviously, I actually think that'll be a better game anyway. Next night, I mean, it's obviously Arsenal United on Wednesday. Has to be, right? And then...
Or City Forest for the bet, right? But yeah, I mean, in terms of entertainment-wise, it's got to be Arsenal United. For sure.
Entertainment-wise has to take precedence, and I'm going Arsenal United there. And then finally, on Thursday, Fulham Brighton all day long. Yeah.
I don't know. Bournemouth, Tottenham. I reckon that's got more goals.
I think there's 2 cracking games there, and I'll definitely have a side bet with you on that. I'll have a side bet with you that Fulham Brighton will yield more goals than Bournemouth Spurs.
All right, fine, done.
50 quid?
Yeah, easy money.
All right, it's a bet.
Might as well send it over to me now.
Yeah, we'll see. This is one that I'm definitely making a note of for the pod on Friday.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I'm going to be sat in the pub watching Fulham Brighton cheering when both teams score, and everyone in the pub's going to be like, "What the hell's he doing?" Cool. All right. That's it. Lots of angles to attack. Let us know what you do as well. And happy punting. We'll see you on Friday. Have a good week.
So, yeah.